Hi everyone, welcome to The Brief. I'm Sanam Siddiqui presenting to you the brief news today. The Honorable Supreme Court had on the 9th of July chastised the Maharashtra government for filing a vague affidavit in the suo motu case pertaining to the plight of migrant workers during the coronavirus lockdown. After the nationwide lockdown was imposed in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, several petitions were filed before the Honorable Supreme Court seeking relief measures and generation of employment opportunities for migrant workers. The court issued certain directions while hearing these petitions about the migrants. The first petition was Nachiketa Vajpayee versus Union of India. This PIL claimed that the fundamental rights of millions of people stranded across the country continue to be grossly violated, causing them immense distress despite the best efforts of the government. The petitioner stated that there are immense, countless, unimaginably inhuman hardships being faced not by hundreds but thousands of migrant workers stranded across the country, some of whom had resorted to walking home despite the distance of hundreds or thousands of kilometers. These migrant workers comprise of aged people, children, and women who are facing severe hardships every day as they have no source of income, no basic survival amenities such as food, shelter, and no medical support. The PIL had been filed before the Honorable Supreme Court seeking directions for the court to instruct local authorities to provide temporary shelter homes, food, medical assistance, and transport facilities to the migrant workers who continue to be stranded amid the COVID-19 pandemic. This PIL also urged the court to direct the center to submit a status report vis-a-vis migrant workers across the country, as was directed by the court on the 31st of March in the case of Alok Srivastava versus Union of India. The court had recorded in this order that the mass migration has stopped according to the Union of India. All migrant laborers who were on the road have shifted to relief camps or shelter homes which are set up at various points in each state or union territory. The directions issued by the Union of India to provide all basic amenities like food, drinking water, medicines, etc. to the migrants are being complied with by the concerned district collectors or the district magistrates. This order goes on to note that it is well known that panic can severely affect mental health. We are informed that the Union of India is conscious of the importance of mental health and the need to calm down those who are in a state of panic. The anxiety and fear of the migrants should be understood by the police and other authorities. As directed by the Union of India, they should deal with these migrants in a humane manner. Considering the situation, we are of the opinion that the state government / the union territories should endeavor to engage volunteers along with the police to supervise the welfare activities of the migrants. We expect those concerned to appreciate the trepidation of the poor men, women, and children and treat them with kindness. The second petition, that is Medha Patkar versus Union of India, was filed in the Honorable Supreme Court by human rights activist Medha Patkar over the miseries and difficulties being faced by migrant labor across the country. This PIL asked for a uniform platform to be created which could be used by all migrants for the ticketing system. This petition also sought directions for providing shelters, homes, food, and other basic necessities to migrant workers. This petition also stated that these migrant workers should be provided financial help and there should be a scheme to help them get employed post the lockdown. The third petition that the Honorable Court was hearing was in problems and miseries of migrant laborers. The Honorable Court took suo motu cognizance of problems and miseries faced by the migrant workers who had been stranded in different parts of the country. Noting that there have been excesses by the police and paramilitary personnel against the migrant workers, the court also asked authorities to consider withdrawal of criminal cases against some of them for violating social distancing norms. In this petition, the Honorable Supreme Court had passed multiple directions to safeguard their interests on the 26th of May. On the 9th of June, the Honorable Court had directed the centre and the state governments to identify and to send the stranded migrant workers willing to return to their native place back within 15 days by train or by bus. It also asked them to help the returnees find jobs during the national lockdown. On the 19th of June, the Apex Court had asked the centre and all the states to ensure that all stranded migrant workers willing to return must be sent to their native places without any fare being charged from them. The Supreme Court had asked the state of Maharashtra to file an affidavit regarding details of migrants waiting to return home. In the affidavit that was filed, the government of Maharashtra had claimed that there was no migrant crisis in the state. However, the court pointed out that a large number of migrant workers were still in Maharashtra. The Honorable Court stated that it is the duty of the state to find out shortcomings and lapses to do the needful. The court stated, when you are the state, it's your responsibility to find out which group of migrants are getting food, etc. Your affidavit says food is being provided to migrant workers. File a proper affidavit. You have treated this like an adversarial litigation. The Solicitor General told the Honorable Supreme Court that the migrant workers were returning back to cities to reclaim their old jobs, as the state had opened up employment opportunities. And since the 1st of May, around 350,000 workers came back to work in Maharashtra. Thus, reverse migration is happening because the industries and businesses are now opening up. The senior advocate for Bihar said that the trains from Patna were running full. He also stated that reverse migration is happening and now the workers are going back to their own jobs. The Solicitor General further stated that there is a COVID containment plan in place and the same has been mentioned in their affidavit. However, the bench said it's a responsibility of the Maharashtra government to find out which migrants are getting food, shelter, and transport facilities, and those who are deprived of them. The Honorable Supreme Court posted the matter for further hearing on the 17th of July. Thank you for joining us. Please stay tuned. And if you like this video, please click on the subscribe button below. And to send those stranded migrant workers, the court had stated that the mice migration, the PIL also saw direction. He's just our spectator. He's the audience.